Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Focus. Jake Cunningham here. And my webcam, I'm setting up a bunch of different cameras for some shoots later, and I'm not going to broadcast my face. So I'm here live. It is September 16th, 2016, 9/16/16. And I want to welcome everybody to the Focus. Today, we're going to also have a special guest, Louise Swartzwalters, joining us in 30 minutes to be adding to the discussion about how she has created an empowering practice. That's the focus for today, empowerment. Now, an empowering practice is it's a very vague kind of dynamic, let's call it topic. We want to take it, of course, as building on the last couple of focuses, the leadership position, the role you play as a leader. We want you to be empowered. We want also the clients to be empowered. And this all comes from the environment, internal and external. So a couple weeks ago, if you don't recall, or if you missed the focus call, we went over creating an optimal environment space, setting up actually an office structure, where to sit in relationship to the client, how to have your technology and the biofeedback set up. We went then to developing a team, some great tips and just words of food for thought on being that leader you are and building a successful, creating a successful, and leading a successful team. And today's empowering to keep you going. Again, the Friday Focus is designed to keep you on point each week and give you a little bit words of encouragement with some specifics. I want to thank, hello everybody. Hi Jane, hi Martin. All light warriors. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Love it. Bring it. But the empowerment theme comes from two different ideas that I had this week. One was an event I went to. Actually, it was about 10 minutes away. It was an event I'll talk a little bit about, and it's going to be the focus of the first 15, 20 minutes here of acronym that you can apply that really will remind you what's going to make you really just take off and love and remember why you're doing what you're doing and reinforce that. But second, I'm tapping into also a partner of mine, Louise Swartzwalter, and her programs of how she empowers her people in-house, her office staff, herself, and of course her clients to create a abundant and free. What I mean by freedom isn't free in financial terms, but in the every. I think we both share something in common, that the human condition is searching for a personal freedom is the end goal that we all want. That personal freedom may be financial at this point in your life. It may be health wise for your clients or yourself. It may be spiritual or social, having freedom of your emotions or freedom to create and your creativity. So freedom is, I think, part of the human condition. No one said freedom's free, though. It takes work, right? We know that as a democracy in our country, as well as anything that we work hard towards to create freedom in our lives. We know we had to invest. And so these are just simple tips here today, everybody. I want to always disclose this, that I'm not a guru. I don't claim to be. I'm just someone who cares passionately about the success of our industry, and that people know they have someone to tap into, to bounce ideas off of, and to get support. So that's where I'm coming from here. There's no agenda beyond that. But I want the what makes me tick is when I hear practitioners helping people, right? Being a son of a practitioner and using the equipment myself, I'm a believer. And that belief is, again, where we're going to start off here. So today, I'm going to share with you here my screen. And we're going to use a simple acronym BEAR. Many of you have heard of this, but this is something I learned at this workshop I went to. That was really a big sales pitch, but they really added some value too. What I want to go over is this wonderful acronym that you can also take from me, like I've taken from, and we've all heard this before in different ways. And you may already have heard these exact names and letters, but becoming a bear of empowerment. Be That doesn't mean bearish or bullish, or no, BEAR, and it stands for beliefs, emotion, action, results. Okay, cliche, Jake. I'm not here to work on my personal self-development. I'm here to learn some specific tips. Well, guess what? It's all connected, and you're going to learn some specific how to, which I got great feedback. I want to send a thank you to a wonderful client of ours. And I won't use last name just to, honor, but Susan, I appreciate Susan so much. She gave me some great feedback last week that if we do these kind of reminding professional, personal development lessons, tie it back into how we can do that with the software, show a screen, show a mini protocol, show something that you can take tangibly into your work using the equipment we all are connected about and with. So that's something I'm going to start incorporating, if not doing a full segment on a protocol. I've got some great speakers lined up for October and November and going into the holidays, where we're going to do some actual back to the basics training, get back in and doing the SOC index and how someone does that and focus on that. So I know that's what everyone's craving. In the meantime, hopefully I can entertain and educate and inspire along the way. And so let's get started here with the bear. The focus of this is, again, to remember that you have to inspire and empower yourself first before you can empower anybody else. And so this can be used for not only yourself, but also as a tool to use in your practice. And bear, let me navigate over here. I got my drawing board up. Hopefully you can all see the board. If you can't, just let me know. And remember, tech support wise, because Google Hangouts, there's a slight delay depending on your internet speed, bandwidth. You can always hit refresh at the bottom. It says, I think, reconnect, and you should be able to connect there. So give me a second. I'm going to switch over to the other window, and we're going to get started here. So in this BEAR, so B, I'm going to cut right to the chase because I want to show you the relationship between these and how easy it is to implement. And this is my little kind of thing we're doing before Luis joins us in 20 minutes. So, and because she's a busy practitioner, and it was a blessing to have her on here again. So we're going to go down and select the button B. Belief. Now, belief is critical for anything that we buy into and do, for you, your clients, and everything else. Belief is a fundamental principle of that translates to your success, whatever that success means to you. Now, in the focus of being a better practitioner, practicing what you preach, if you do not believe in what you're doing, do you think that that will translate to the work you do? Of course it will. Do you believe people are going to commit to the programs or the offerings or listen to you? Are they going to listen to someone who doesn't believe in what they're talking about? You can never underestimate the intelligence of our human condition. You all have clients and patients who are wide spectrum of consciousness in terms of their ability to grasp what you're offering in terms of feeding back information, right? Everybody has a different constitution, baseline, and programming that they're coming through and into your door carrying. They baggage, right? We all have our belief systems. So having your strong belief up front in your practice of what you're doing, the success, what you can and what you can't do, and clarity of communication and some of those elements that we talked about last week, it's going to set you up for success and in delivering belief, passing that belief down to your clients, to your staff, and so on. Hi, Orly. How are you? I would like to interact with some of you. Please contact me. Great. Contact Orly, everybody. And Orly, I got your email. I was getting ready for the webinar, so I'll answer some of those questions when I'm done. So thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge I got your email. Again, you guys can chat amongst yourselves here too. So belief is so critical on so many levels. And just to mention how it can work against you, it kind of goes without saying. But over the past transition, when corporations and companies in our industry have gone through transition and unknown and lack of communication, unfulfilling promises, all these things, what is that can affect your belief, can it? It hits buttons in us of doubt and mistrust, and you're not part of anything that's going to be a future. Yet what I've noticed is the practitioners who have an unwavering belief in the work they do, they're never affected. There's no buttons to even push. When a corporation that doesn't affect their day-to-day goes through transitions or doesn't follow through on something, meaning your personal development and professional development directly translates into the ability to serve more people and to help more people. So increase that belief in what you do. Part of that is being connected to the Friday Focus or connected to these other information or let's call it events that come through, but also listening to the results of your people, right? And reinforces belief. So next, we're going to go down to the second box here. And sorry. I'm going to use my mouse here. What? Done. E. Emotion and emotions. So, from a belief, whether it's positive or negative, happens both way. You develop the emotional relationship to it. Our emotions are what drives this human condition. When we have a strong excitement belief, think about everybody when you first were introduced to this technology, okay? Because we're going to stay on point relevant to our biofeedback systems, okay, today. When you first were introduced to this from a trade show, or you were a client, or a colleague said, I think you should check this out, and you envisioned, my goodness, and after you became a believer, say as a client, or you had a demo and it made a profound influence, the emotional memory, I want you to go back there now and remember all the potential that filled your soul about how you could serve others, work on yourself, your family, and hang on to that. Now, also, you can recall when you had a very fear-based belief about something and the emotions that caused. So you as a practitioner are also sharing this human condition, but having check of your beliefs and what you're clear about with the work you do. And that comes from being part of a team, having great coaches, mentors, and training and education, having the practicum and the and the hours and the skin in the game, your investment of energy and money into this. Remember why and what you're doing it for. That have that emotion and get excited again. Show some enthusiasm again. When you sit across from somebody today or Monday or this weekend, look at them in the eye and say, this has been life changing for me and the people I've worked with. I want you to know that, period. And then just shut up and let them soak that enthusiasm in. Drive home that emotion that you carry, because that emotion is going to directly translate to a action. Action for you may be picking up the phone and asking someone to rebook. It may be, for your own wellness journey, going out to the store, finding the product that your practitioner highly recommended and investing in it and purchasing it. It may be going to that class or showing up to that webinar. It may be going and finishing that degree or that license or that certification that's been pending and waiting, and you want to do it, but let it drive you here. Your belief will drive your emotion to act. Now, when it comes to your clients and those people who are coming because they're lost or confused or they're searching for something better, right? Most people sitting across from you, they're looking for something different or better. They're trying to move through or past something, whether it's an emotional, psychological, spiritual, or physical challenge or hurdle. They are looking to act and change, but it has to drive through this. And if you understand the psychology of how they're going to transform and make that step and achieve that goal, you're going to get better results. You're going to make more money at this, helping people. That's the point of this, is we want to increase and add more value to the marketplace. And you do that by first changing beliefs, emotion, action. Now that translates to not that. I've got this pen, you guys, and I'm not used to using it, so forgive me. R, results. Results. My penmanship is a little better than this in normal real life, but this is a first experiment, and I like to show you live, like you were in my office and I was giving you this spiel. So results. Well, results mean more money, increased wellness for your clients. Results will be, and this could be completely irrelevant to your business of biofeedback to everybody, right? This could be in anything that you want to achieve, or this is the program here. Now, with the results that unfold, you're seeing better rapport and connection with your clients. They're seeing results. They're overcoming some of the hurdles that they are paying you to do and help with and support, which increases your bottom line. People are booking packages with you. They are not hesitating to book in groups or to refer people, right? Results. This then translates and supports your beliefs. And it just is it's really cool. It's really like I won't write over this, but it's like a infinity pattern that just keeps reinforcing itself. And if you can live by this and remember and trick yourself, not trick yourself, but drive it home, because we are so reinforced with negative thoughts out there and belief systems, right? The presidential election, the news. I recommend getting rid of your TV. I'm having that debate with my wife right now. I don't need it. I don't want it. I want to focus on, if I fill my heart with media and my mind and my emotions with things I choose and love, I believe that results will only increase. Now, don't get me wrong, entertainment and distraction is part of life that we need. It's been around the human, condition and society since the beginning of time. You need to have an outlet where you can lose and be creative and not get into the mental mind and box mode. But you can do that support with stuff that supports you too. You can do that by, well, go in and pay for a session from one of your clients, receive a session, receive an actual session, or invest, instead of spending $100 a month on cable, spend $100 a month on a massage. Are you kidding me? There's so many different ways. So that's just a little tip. That's neither here or there. I'm not trying to persuade you to change your media consumption. But my point is, beliefs is so critical, and mindset. Your mindset is what's going to make or break your success in what you're doing. Mindset and the mind, we all know in the work we do, is directly correlated to our physical well-being as well, and our financial and our social and everything else. So remember to be a bear. Strong beliefs lead to healthy emotions that move us to act, that drive results. BEAR, bear. Simple, easy, something I just want to drive home to you, because we can get overcomplicated with all the theory and quantum physics. And we know, understanding and studying quantum physics is, when you change the belief patterns, here's an atom. Those little atoms and those resonate at a different frequency. We can actually manipulate these. We can change these, which influences this and this. So it's really profound. It's really elementary, and it's really, don't let it insult your intelligence, everybody. But sometimes taking what we get into in this field that's so complex, we have to remember how simple things can be. And surrounding yourself, this is a key ingredient, surrounding yourself with 5 quality people that may be in-house, that you can touch and talk to live, and go out to lunch or dinner or your off hours with. So your inner circle, your interpersonal communication, your professional network, your clients, you get to choose. You get to choose, even family. That's tough, right? But get away from the negative Nancy's or the negative Debbie Downers. And forgive me, Debbie or Nancy, that's just a cliche saying. You know what I'm talking about. Get away from those energy vamps who suck the life out of you. Does anybody here have those people in our lives? I bet you do, because we all fall into that sometimes. We can be that ourselves, but don't beat yourself up. We have enough influence around us. Don't be your own creator of disbelief, of poor emotion. And if you have something you want to do, act on it. Ask for what you want. Ask and you shall receive. You have to act, and then results. And then you refine. Your beliefs are reinforced and so on. But surround yourself by 5 people that you want to support and you would like to emulate. These could be people who are authors you've never met. They could be leaders in our field and industry, like Louise, who's doing it. She's somebody that, no one's perfect. She's not perfect. Her model may not work in your house or your business, but listen to the people that are making significant changes in people's lives and who are also making money. This little workshop I went to the other day was interesting, and we've all heard this before, but if you took the 5 closest people you hang out with and you influence and you spend time with, and you average their sum of income, that's about what you're making. Now that's financially oriented, but finances and money is just energy too. I bet you're the sum of their health and well-being as well, and a sum. Now that's a very vague statement, but you are a sum of the energy that you surround yourself with. Just like what you eat, just like what you think. So the thinking brain and the mind and the mindset is my point of what is the most valuable asset you have. And what will differentiate yourself amongst all the other, let's call it wellness professionals out there, is your unwavering belief and your ability to positively influence your people. And from there, that's a separation in itself. With your specialized information that you have, with this technology and your other tools, that's what you can wrap around with your marketing and enter the marketplace. We're not going to get into that right now and today, but I want to just reinforce and remind you all that with this technology and the work and the need in the marketplace for alternatives to the polluting, toxic, killing drugs that are out there, or surgery as the only option, or radiation, or dousing with chemicals, you have an alternative to this, and that value is huge. Not to mention the amazing mind-shifting ability and capabilities you have with the workflow using your equipment and tools, but most importantly, you, because you have to drive the ship. We all need our vehicles, right? You need a vehicle to get there. In this case, let's say it's your biofeedback practice or your service that you provide. The tools support that. You have tools, your biofeedback system, computer, printer, you have your fax machine. You have these tools. These are tools that you as a leader have. You have to learn how to navigate them and tactically apply those tools. But none of that happens if your belief is in the gutter. And so today I want to remind you and just give you that love and encouragement to remember the potential and that possibility of transition and shift that you could make in the world. And with one person at a time, one family, one small group community. And that's how we make a difference. That's how we make a difference in the world. And that's one thing I find in common with many of you is that you're doing this beyond the interest in high tech. Many of us aren't even that computer savvy. It's not about that. If you are, great. This is a fun endeavor within that realm alone. But you're doing it because you want to make a difference. Now, if you disagree, hey, please send your chat and let us know why you're doing this. Because I would love to know from everybody right now, if you're listening to the recording or live, why are you doing this work? What is your why? What is your why for doing this work? Was it for your own health and then you wanted to pass that along? Is this for your, is it for money? Are you doing this for money? Probably not, because when you exchange time for money, which is what this model is, that's the model. This is kind of an archaic model of service where you exchange time for money, right? You're setting up sessions and you can only maximize that time for money. When you're doing that, you must be doing it for a higher purpose, because if not, you'd be an investment banker, or you'd be looking for other ways to leverage that, which you can also do in this, which we're not talking about today because we don't have the time. There's ways to do that, which Luis might talk about a little bit with groups and membership, that type of thing that support your people. Luis should be jumping on shortly, but I'm going to continue on here, and I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you guys that your time is so critical when using this technology and to honor it. So hopefully that was clear. I'm going to wrap that up, everybody, with the bear. Become a big, warm bear of empowerment. Change beliefs, yours starting with you. Emotions. How do you feel about this work? And if you're really down on this work and it is depressing to you and you're frustrated, you can't get answers, you're not, guess what? You may need to shift gears, sell this equipment, and go do something that you believe in. Because if you don't believe in this, not gonna lie. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. If you don't love what this is and what you can create and help, I recommend selling it. I recommend contacting me later and saying, I'm out, Jake. How can you help me find a home for this? Because I'd be happy to do that. But I doubt that's you if you're on the focus call, because this is for people who are wanting to do better, right? Wanting to help more people. So this is self-explanatory, everybody. I'm going to download this very ugly picture here and make sure you all have a copy of it, but it'll be on the replay, of course, too. What I want to do is zoom out, and I want to show you guys the time element here. Because time that you spend is really important here with this. And there's a limit. Okay, so if you were to look at a work week today, right? What's an average work week that could, I'm going to take a break while there's a question. And please ask questions, you guys, share your thoughts. I want to hear from you more on these calls so we can have more of a discussion. Could the root cause of addiction actually be a lack of connection? If we can't connect in this way, we will connect with anything. The whirl, I think the whirl of a roulette wheel, the wheel of a roulette wheel, or the prick of a syringe. Just a thought. Martin, absolutely. Not being a licensed psychologist, not having any license to be able to, make diagnosis, treatment, cure. I'm never that, you guys. But you're absolutely right. So if we go back really quick with the model here, there are some belief systems that are really not serving that person, right? Because the actions of picking up that needle or going to that casino or picking up that bottle, whatever that addiction may be, is you have to remember what's triggering that. And yes, that lack of connection. Connection is so critical. That has to do with your beliefs too. That support. If you believe that you're alone, isolated, and there's no love in the world, and you're disconnected from your family, your friends, your community, your support systems, you had a loss that you haven't gone through grieving and forgiveness and everything, you are looking to fill that void. And I would agree with you, Martin. Thank you so much. When it comes to everyone's time here, with your practice, I'm going to do a couple quick little notes. So what we have is, there's two really categories. I'm going to two categories here. We have one, part-time, and full-time. Part-time, if you think about part-time as like what you would get, say, if you worked for a corporation, or many of you may have a part-time job with another company, building someone else's dream. I'm just joking, but that's true. And I'm not joking. So, but hey, we all need to do what we need to do. And if you haven't been able to transition, there's many reasons for that. And we're not going to get into all those details here, but let's say part-time, there's another one called a hobbyist. There's really three. So this is a hobbyist. Hobby. Okay. Part-time is 10 to 20 hours a week, right? Full-time is, I would consider, more or less 20 to 40 hours a week. Now, really, it's 40 hours a week, right? I mean, but we have to remember when it comes to this is less than 10 hours a week. So if you're, and if you can think of an hour as a client, because your time after an initial consultation, a session should be 1 hour. 1 hour. Max. That's tough. Many of us know, and I talk to many of you who, and even when I run a session on myself, if I do a thorough session or on my family, it's hard to fill in that hour. But remember, it's not just about hours and money and setting up your scheduling. It's about actually the fundamental design and functionality of the service you're providing, the system. Professor Nelson, Desi, designed this to be a 45-minute to hour session. That optimizes the actual session. The body adapts. A session going over that isn't necessarily more beneficial. So running long-term therapies for evenings and nights, it doesn't mean it's helping anymore. And so remember that, and when I have Desi on, we'll ask about that time, but really staying within that hour is going to help you get better results because it's the way it was designed to be used. And it's going to help you structure and manage your time. So if an hour session is $100 on average, many of you may be charging 50, 75, depending on your geographical and demographic area. Let's just say 10 hours a week would be 2 people a day. Okay? 2 people a day. 20 hours would be a week. Would be 4 people a day. Right? 4 people a day. Am I right there? No, 10 hours a week. Yeah, 2 hours, 4 people a day. I'm just going to talk about this because this pen isn't working well. So if you're working with on an average of, 1, if not that a day, it's a hobby. This is a very expensive hobby for you. Great. Hey, no judgment there, but it's a hobby. A profession or a career is something that you're making a living on. Now, if you don't need to make a living and you have other funding resources, well, that's great. It all depends on what you want out of this and what your goal is. But if you are looking to do this as a full-time practitioner, you better start honoring your time even better and more. And so that's the role of this. I'll get into this more. I want to focus on Luis. I think I hear Luis come on. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing, Jake?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
So what I want to recap, Luis, I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
But what I went through is the BEAR acronym, something that has to do with empowerment for themselves as practitioners, breaking into that freedom that you're going to talk a little bit more about, but
Mhm.
remembering that we can keep this simple too. It doesn't have to be over complex. And this is something they can use for clients too. So B, beliefs, emotions lead to actions and results. Very simple. That supports beliefs and vice versa. They all reinforce each other. And the BEAR acronym is something I just encourage them all to carry forth into the weekend, into the week, so they can be big teddy bears of love and support for people, including themselves, most importantly, themselves. And so, thank you for jumping on. I hope you had a wonderful session. I know you jumped on right after a client.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, and I love that BEAR acronym. I love that. That's really so true and so easy to remember. That our beliefs do affect how we're behaving and what we're doing and everything in our life. So it's about changing those belief systems and staying in that positive frame that will
Mm-hmm.
bring us more, of everything, more goodness, everything. So thanks for sharing that, Jake. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you for jumping on. We appreciate it. And we want to continue the discussion here. We have got, 20 more minutes. And so I appreciate
Okay.
you after a busy day or in the middle of a busy day to do this. But if you could share just a little bit about how you are creating the empowerment like environment for you and your staff real quick, and then lead into what you're doing with the um, empowerment and freedom program that you're promoting.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have been. I think most of you know that I am a big promoter of feeling free and being on your dime and owning your life, doing what you want to be doing. And of course, we're here to serve, so it's helping others. And so for myself, I sort of just keep upping the ante in a way. I keep learning new tools, incorporating those tools, and working on my own self-talk and also clearing my energy field. So I like to clear the old stuff and then of course put in a new program. And so how I do that so a lot of you are practitioners out there, and I know that Jake said you've had questions about how to use the Skio, the Indigo, the QXCI, what programs to use in there to really help people feel empowered and free. What would you do to clear energy on those programs? So the way that I would use and I have the Indigo, the way that I would use the Indigo or the Skio to clear energy is I do a lot of the NLP programs. So I'm in the NLP panel a lot. And another great program to clear would be the scalar energy program. So you're going through almost an ancestral kind of pieces for people, and the color therapy as well on that same panel. And then, one of the tricks that I learned a long time ago that I want to share with all of you is I never leave a purple box empty. It's like I'm going to put an affirmation in, or I'm going to put the 528 hertz frequency in, or possibly some confidence, some of the confidence numbers. I know one of them is 4550 in the Indigo or the Skio. And I would put that information, if you will, in those purple boxes, because that's sending more of that vibration, more of that information to your
Mm.
client. So that's always been helpful. So I hope that helps you all.
Thank you, Louise, for that tip and that feedback. I told everybody from some recent feedback from all of them in our community, they want a little more practical application. And so thank you for that. And we'll add more with screenshots and things as we get into the back to the basics October coming up with live, protocol training. But you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned something in your information you shared with us about your always learning, applying, and growing yourself. And that includes new technologies and tools. So tell us a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about that and the tools you're using now.
Oh gosh.
Well, or with
That
the
could be
program.
like a 3 hour thing. I'm going to
No,
try to make it
not all of them, but I mean specifically for what you're doing. Yeah, I mean for what you're doing um, with the program that you're using with the freedom program you're creating.
Okay. So, I do a combination of things, and really, I have four other biofeedback programs. One of them I call Beautiful Brain, It's on scale and technology, but I have put in all my own brain information, a digestive tray in there. I have the mind gems in there. I have a Geo Tran tray in there. So I keep adding, and I can add my own information to that program. And a lot of you who are in some of my groups, I do group programs. Like right now, we're in a brain boosters group. And you certainly can check that out if you haven't heard about that yet. Ask me, email me, or you can go to my websites, www.abqnaturalhealthcenter.com or beautifulbalancebrain.com, and it's all listed there. But those group programs, I use my new program more actually than I use the Indigo now for those groups. It's faster, it's a little simpler, and I watch just magic happen for people. So I'm using a lot of tools sort of interchangeably. But really, what's just sort of morphed in the last couple years here is I finally have sort of a system down, if you will. And the system I call BRAIN. And BRAIN stands for body. So the B is body. So I'm working with the body, the physical body. R is for release. It's releasing any old programs. A is for aligning with spirit. So there's always a spiritual component to when we're working with health and healing with people. And then I is for integrating any ancestral pieces. And N is for putting in a new program. And putting in a new program just means when we release the old stuff, we want to put in a new way of being, a new way of thinking. But I go even further than that, because the new program piece that I'm using is part of it is Geo Tran. And Geo Tran is the language of your energy field. So it's like working on rebooting your brain in a sense. It's like taking out the old program and putting in a new software program in your biocomputer, your computer field, your energy field. Mm-hmm. And I found that work was completely powerful, so powerful that it shifted people on levels that the biofeedback couldn't do. So when I incorporated using all of those pieces in a session is when I started seeing the best results with people. And so I myself use that, not just with my clients, but also on myself. So I integrate myself every single day using these codes of Geo Tran in the field.
Wonderful.
I love that work. I can't believe how well it's amazing. You can take pain away in just a minute by just doing some positive points and clearings.
Well, that's awesome. And the focus of today is not for you to show us all of those technologies, techniques, and strategies, but to let everybody know, let's take away from what Louise told us. Use your tools in your toolkit, everybody, and have them complement each other and create your own system that works, that you can believe in, get behind, and tweak it here and there. It always will evolve, but use it. And again, use it on yourself to test it, right? We are all our best guinea pigs. And that's something I realized amongst many of us, Louise, is a lot of our practitioners listening to this on the replay or live today, they got into this technology because of their own journey, right? They were interested because it worked on themselves, right? That's where that initial belief came from. So remember what works with you and what you love and buy into, because that's going to translate down the pole or down, up and down and all around to your people, to your staff, to your clients, to your patients, to everyone else. And when people, and that's because I think belief in the mindset and the whole, that leads to the freedom we're talking about. And I opened up this today talking about the human condition. I believe we've talked about this millions of times, probably over the 10, 12 plus years we've been working together. But I feel the human condition is on a search for freedom, right? Personal freedom. Now, personal doesn't mean like personal versus business or commercial. No, personal means an intimate freedom for which we have the profound ability to choose what we love and be a part of and who we do. And a lot of times the belief systems that have been programmed are limiting us from truly achieving that freedom. And so use your tools on yourself. And you've done some integrations with me too that have helped move me through some stuck places I've been, that I absolutely love. So what is the Geo Tran? I have a Skio. Arlie, go ahead and you can talk about that. There's a question there. Is there another?
Okay.
It's another equipment? Thanks, Sandra. Yeah, it's another tool. Go for it.
So, in other words, what's the difference between Geo Tran and the Skio?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be a good answer.
Okay, yeah. So the Skio is a biofeedback, computer program, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you can use, and you're hooking people up, with your straps, and you can change the you're really changing the neurotransmitters. You're changing their brain when you're working on that
Mm-hmm.
program with people. The Geotran, the difference is that it changes the brain in the field. So, like, I show people with muscle testing, like, if you muscle test somebody, if they have pain in their shoulder, and there actually is a YouTube on this, I think, somewhere on if you just Google my name in YouTube, or, put my name up in YouTube, you'll find a little video on it. And I show, if we muscle test somebody, and they have pain in the shoulder, if we put your hand right on your shoulder, where I can show you the pain is not here. The pain starts in the field. It starts in the energy field. So if we don't release the pain in the field, we can slap Bengay on there and Traumeel or whatever your arnica cream or whatever you're doing, or essential oils, and also you can release pain with biofeedback. But the field program needs to be addressed.
Mm.
And I like Geotran for that reason. And of course, when you couple it together with the biofeedback, it's like you're doing it in a very multi-sensory fashion. So you're getting someone like more help. It's like getting them further faster are the words that I think of when
Mm-hmm.
I use that together. And so that's what I love to do. It's like, how can I do this as many different ways as I can? For all of you, that actually, that dawned on me. It was one of those light bulbs. I'm sure you all have those light bulbs that go off where you're like, hey, I can use this with this client, or I have this tool that I want to try out today because I have someone who has this issue. And it was a light bulb that went off that I realized that when I was a teacher and I was teaching dyslexics how to read, we used a multi-sensory program. We used what you say with what you hear, with what you write, with what you feel. And so we would desk write B, bat, buh. So you're hearing the sound, you're connecting it to a picture, and you're feeling the energy of making the letter. We did it in sand and pudding in all different ways. Well, what I realized in healing is we're not doing that.
Mm.
We're not doing it in a multi-sensory way.
Mm.
And so if we do as many multi-sensory components, and if you think about it, even the music on the Skio or the Indigo is multi-sensory. We're hearing. So you can hear, you're seeing. So the more you can use your own tools as practitioners and think, how can I do this in a multi-sensory way? I feel like the brain then gets it and will shift it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And, I just want to stay. I did post Luisa's email. If you have any questions, she's very, she provides that publicly, and that's her email that you can connect with Louise Swartz at MSN. I put it in the chat.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Well, no, and thank you, Louise, for sharing how you do that.
I just think, I hope that helps. I just shared my screen too, so I could share what's coming up when we're talking about it.
Please.
Empowering your freedom. I have a mastermind coming up Saturday, October 29th and Sunday the 30th on creating more of that freedom. And we're going to learn the basics. It's it's an intro to Geotran. So, but it's a lot more than that. So, if you are at that place as a practitioner, and you're in that place where you're really looking at, what is my next step? What's my next move? Or I'm frustrated. I want to be serving people more.
Mm-hmm.
or you want to pick my brain and you want to go, how did you do this? And I want to start an office, or sort of like whatever your questions are about that. So I put this together, for all of you. And so what we're going to be doing is clearing the blocks. If you have any blocks that we need to clear, using some different techniques, and then setting goals, coming up with a blueprint for what you want to create in your life, whether it's your life or your business, so either way. And then we're going to be experiencing one of the Geo Tran integrations called the Miracle Integration for Life. And that's the first integration. And so you will experience that and learn the very beginning techniques that help release stress. So you'll be able to release pain in just a few seconds with people. I just love it. I just love it, and I just want to share it. So
thank you, Louise, for that opportunity and sharing that opportunity. And for everybody who, who's, let's say, stuck, you may be stuck in your practice, you may be stuck in your own wellness journey. We talked about team last week, and we all need to continue to learn, to grow, and to develop a strong support system and team. That's just a fact. Louise, you have a coach, right?
Yes, absolutely. I believe in having a coach or a mentor. That's how I stay on track and stay accountable and do what I need to do.
Right. And what people always ask, and I want to just play a little, rah Jake, personal professional development side of me. We want to not look at opportunities that arise as first go into the poor mindset. We all have heard the poor versus wealthy mindset. Now, wealth is not financial. It's tied to a mindset. Rich is money in the bank. Wealth is a healthy mindset. The poor mindset is, how much does something cost? And then you'd make a decision of that investment, right? That cost. Well, a wealthy mindset looks at anything, and I'm talking about your course and anything else you're looking at, especially for all of you who've invested thousands. You've invested what, 15 to 25, 30 grand in your equipment, if not more, just for one of your systems,
right?
Biofeedback. Now, you did that because of the possibility of that ROI, that return on that investment, right? Whatever that may be. So I just want to remind everybody to not go into anything moving forward. Do your best. It's hard. You have to reprogram your belief system. But go into it looking at, okay, it's this. It's relevant on how much the investment is, but don't ask what it cost and decide from there. Look at what is the return and what do I get for that? Is that going to make sense, right? So I just want to kind of remind people of that, because I'm kind of talking to myself too. I've got to do that more and look at, wait a second. So I have invested thousands of dollars into my equipment, and there is a opportunity to return on that 300, 1,000%. If you invest 20 grand into your equipment, let's say, but it can provide in 1 year after certification $100,000 a year income. That's like saying, if you give me $20,000 and in 1 year I'll give you, or let's say by the second year I'll give you 100 grand, is that something most people would do? Absolutely. Doesn't mean you don't have to work and study and do all the investment there, but my point is, look at that return on investment. Ask that first. That's the wealthy mindset, and take that approach with everything moving forward if you can. So anyway, there's my little 2 cents for you.
I agree, Jake. I know that anytime I've invested in any kind of training myself, and the biggest investment really has been my coaches and my mentors, but it has totally grown myself, grown my business, grown how many people I can reach. You can't, I don't know. I can't put a price tag on how many more people we can reach.
Well, that's very true. And I've seen you grow in that. And you being one of my mentors, you've helped me by you growing. And so by you growing, everybody, learning more tools, investing in yourself, you're actually investing also in the results you deliver, meaning the people are going to benefit from it too.
Right,
which will
right.
translate to higher value and
I
higher.
think I also want to say, I also want to, mention this, that, a lot of us, and, may have a lot of like paper on the wall. You already have your certificates. You may be, a chiropractor or a naturopath or a biofeedback specialist, and you have other tools and other classes that you've gone to and have certifications on the wall. It's not, those are important. You need to get, a few of those and get your training, but beyond that, you don't need like hundreds of those.
Yeah.
It's more about investing in what's going to give you that personal growth that you desire,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
um and then being able to use your tools. I remember once listening to I'd gone to a conference with Carolyn Mace. Many of you know Carolyn, and it's Myss, I think, or something is how you spell her name, but I think she pronounces it Mace. Anyway, she's written several books. She's written a couple with Dr. Sheely, and I remember listening to her once, and she said, "When are you people going to just stop going to all these workshops and use the tools that you have?"
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, and she goes, "We're investing in the next shiny new object or the next book."
Right.
And I got a slew of books, and I love learning new things, and so I really kind of heard that, and I thought, maybe just being a little bit more discerning
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
what we all do. you know
And recognize and respect. That's really well said, and I think you hit home for all of us listening, because anyone who does this work loves
hmm
to learn, right? We're all kind of craving growth and more self-discovery that we can pass along to others, um, most importantly ourselves first, to be able to do that. But I look at it like this, and here's a more logical brain, left male brain approach to this. If you look at the any let's look at nature. Let's look at the seasons and the cyclical transformation of when activity's highest, when it's lowest, when you go in and nest, when you harvest.
hmm
You you can you can be honest with yourself that, okay, I'm going into a season here of, I'm gonna refine, sharpen my saw so I can go and start efficiently chopping down trees. I'm going to do that. Then you go into the working season or harvest season where you harvesting all the good work you've done. Meaning you can identify and go through these different elements and realize that you don't always have to be doing it all either. And there's a
hmm
time to grow and get that certification that you feel will support your belief and confirm for yourself and your people your understanding and competence with your tools.
hmm
But then, yeah, you have got to go to work. You've got to go and do it.
Right,
And that's
right.
something that I think you hit the nail on the head. That has been I think just gosh, it really is limited the full potential of, I believe, this niche I've worked and grown up in, the biofeedback, because
hmm
there hasn't been real clarity of purpose for many of the people who've gotten involved. Right? It's been for personal use, and then, oh gosh, everyone loves it, and then they transition slowly into professional and serving. Yet there's not that real clarity of, okay, I'm in the season. It's game time. Okay, it's
Right.
season has started. Look at
hmm
and this is the left brain I was talking about. Let's look at
hmm
any high paying profession. Okay, let's look at the optimal or entertainment industry, for example, of sports entertainment. Or so, and I told everyone earlier to cancel their TV memberships for, because of distraction. So this
Okay.
isn't this isn't helping. But if you look at your favorite actor, let's use acting. So an actor's paid very high for maybe a week, 2 weeks, even a month at most, shoot, a year. Okay. So let's take one of your favorite actors, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, someone in that field. Okay, they're at the top of their game.
hmm
They will pick maybe one project a year, if that. If that. They get paid 40, 50, 60, maybe, 20 million, something around there for that week of work. Okay?
hmm
What are they doing all those other days? Well, they're refining their craft, they're investing in themselves, they're taking care of themselves. and then they got to show up and perform. Now, we're in a completely different industry, so let's translate that.
Mm-hmm.
When you sit across from that person, you're showtime. The camera's rolling, game time. You better be on your optimal performance behavior so that you make that profound and deliver on the promise and exceed expectations. But when you're in your downtime, you got to really protect, respect, and honor that you're not in game mode. You're in strategy, investment mode, learning, so on. But be prepared for the games. And when you came on, we were talking about the hours in the work week. At
Uh-huh.
most you can see 4 people a day and give them quality. What? And let me ask you about that, Luis.
Okay.
What's the busiest day that you can take, and what can the girls book you for? Like what's the maximum clients a day that you can see?
I can see 5 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
But like my busiest day, of course, is my Brain Boosters night day, which is Wednesday.
Right.
So I'll work all day. I'll do, and that day I'll only take 4 clients, maybe 3, because in the evening I start at 8 o'clock and I really don't go to bed till midnight or 12:30.
Yeah, and that's it.
So I'm working
That's
on
on the
3.
extreme. And
That's
so,
a
but
really long day, and I figured it out. So in terms of structure, that I have to take Thursday morning off,
right.
but now Thursday's filled with coaching clients. So,
But
and then we have
yeah.
team meetings on Friday or the Friday focus with you. And so,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have to sort of batch, if you will,
Right, right.
to maximize the use of my time.
And that's wonderfully said. That's awesome. But that 4 or 5 clients a day, 5 days a week, that's I like the model of 4 clients a day, 5 days a week is a full-time max practice. And there's
Yeah.
give and take. You may have 5, you may have 3, but on average, 20 booked sessions a week, like paying sessions,
Mm-hmm.
$100 an hour, 2,000 a week, 8,000 a month is like a full-time summary of, I think, achievable, doable without ruining your own wellness and well-being. So what you'll want to, so how do you optimize that? And you talked about you're changing to leverage your specialized information with your
Yeah.
coaching and your groups.
Mm-hmm.
That's so profound and what people can learn to do too. And Luis and I, everybody are talking about, Luis being a real leader mentor with sharing how she's doing some of this stuff. So just stay tuned, keep in touch, and stay connected here so you can see how to do some of these things. And we're open also to learn what's going on with you guys. You guys may have some amazing systems you've put in place. Many practitioners, I talked with a practitioner the other day who's leveraged her time by hiring. She invested in another, let's call it $20,000 investment of tools, 6 months of training for someone, but now she's doubling her sessions because she has 2 technicians.
Right.
Running. So she's compounded and worked smarter. So there's a lot of different ways we do that.
There's a lot of wonderful things that that you can do. So if that's your goal and you want to serve more people and you want to learn to leverage your time, I'm doing that now and finding out more ways to even do that. So if that's something you want to do, certainly connect with me. That's kind of why I put that this whole workshop together, that I'm so excited. I'm going to show my screen again because I am really excited to have practitioners here and have the ability for us to share and get together. In fact, usually I like kind of pack things, and I went Sunday, I'm just going to do it from 9:30 to 2, and we're going to leave from 2 o'clock to 5 open to be whatever we need it to be.
Well, whatever
that weekend looks like, because this is for us. This is like a sharing time. And I do want to mention, the value of a workshop like this when you're learning the brain system and everything that I'm doing and experiencing the Geo Tran that I've been doing for 10 years is like $19.97, and I made it $5.97 for all of you. And then I even did an early bird and said, you know what, there's some people who really want to step up and take advantage of this and get together, and they're really ready to invest in themselves and invest in changing changing those belief systems or that energy and really upping the ante of what they want to do in their lives and their business. And so by September 29th, it's $497, and you can bring a friend for $97.
Oh my. So
I
if you look,
know, isn't that sweet?
well, I think learning the actual content and the how to what you're teaching is going to be valuable. And if you split that with a friend, it's $250. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right.
That's for to be able to go into someone's home or office and see there's a lot of intangible learnings every time there's a in-house workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to always say this about the congresses and the events, the in between the lines, seeing how Louise has structured her office and has her remedies and the staff and the chairs and the environment, those small intricacies are so valuable because what you're doing is Louise is what 30 years plus in the journey that you've done for you correct me,
Yeah.
but you're
Yeah.
tapping into that, and that's what education is, everyone. Why do you think I paid thousands for a college degree? To learn from the people's mistakes so that I don't repeat them. Now, again, a lot of the professionals and professors I learned from, I guess, it's all theory because they're not out doing it. Actually, you get to learn from someone doing it, which is more valuable than anything. So remember, don't look at the price. Look at what do I get for that? What would that mean if you're lost in your practice and don't know really where you're going, or you need something else to add to what you're doing to create that full spectrum complementary work, which Luis described and how the Geo Tran and other tools support it. For $250, you and your colleague or your technician or your office administrator, somebody going in to Luis's is very, very valuable. And that's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A fly into the airport. It's an international airport, which you can get flights from pretty much everywhere. I used to go down
Mm-hmm.
there all the time and contact Luis for more information. So on the
Absolutely.
time topic, I'm going to wrap things up because we're over an hour and I want to honor everybody's Friday afternoon. Is there any final thoughts, Luis, that you'd like to share?
Oh, I'm just excited to work with everybody and to hang together, So I love these. I love the opportunity to, for all of us to get together again here. And we want to thank you, Jake, for. I'm going to see if I can not share my screen. Did I do it? Am I okay?
Yeah, you're fine. My camera's off because I'm
Your
I'm
camera's up.
I'm
Okay.
setting up a bunch of
I
other
just want
cameras.
to, I want to thank you, Jake, for opening this up again and giving a place for the practitioners to meet again, because this is super valuable, and I do believe that our connection is very important. So that's why I'm creating these different workshops and events and classes so that we can continue to brainstorm together and learn also from each other and what we can do going forward to serve more people, and also up the ante and really feel good about what you're doing, empowering your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel free and you feel on your game and you feel happy and excited to go to work every day or whatever it is you're doing, that's going to shine through. Your people, your clients, your family are going to see that. And so we
Wonderful.
want to keep that alive. So thank you, Jake, for putting all of this together for us today.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome. Thank you, Louise, for your time during a busy Friday. And I want to thank everybody and our listeners for taking some time out of your busy week. Hopefully you enjoy a time to connect with your fellow like-minded individuals, which is the definition of a community, which has been lacking. And again, remember, without your involvement, there's no commitment, and vice versa. So being committed is synonymous with involvement. And so I encourage and thank and really just am grateful for everybody's involvement, because we have more people registered. More people listen to this on the recording, but we've got more people registered now for the focus call than ever before. And we're going to have some fun coming up. So I just wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay focused, stay enthusiastic. Remember to be a big bear, right? strong beliefs lead to emotions, to actions, to results. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. Luis, I'm going to hang out with you, and I can call you and we can chat. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Jake. And I look forward to talk with you. Call me and we'll get you signed up for that class if that's resonating with you. So
Great.
look
And
forward to
thanks,
seeing you.
Christine. Christine went on and found the YouTube video. Everybody look in the chat. Christine, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Healing Conversations, Dr. Luis Swartzwalter on Mind Gyms and Geo Tran. Check that out. There's a YouTube link that Christine supported us by posting. There's a YouTube channel there, and Luis Swartz at msn.com. You can email Luis if you need help on White Dove with any purchasing of new equipment, financing. We got some great financing now for technologies, everybody. If you're interested in adding a second system or upgrading, please give me a call. That's how I make my livelihood, and I want to continue to support you. So send people your way. If you have referrals, that's how I make my living. So blessings to everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Luis.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, everyone.